Serenity. I noticed you on the video. Kate did really well. It's a really nice service.
Nice to be out the house.
Really?
Nice to be out the house and stuff.
Yeah, I do. It's a bit nerve-wracking being in here, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Make a speech face to face. I've got it. Do you know Richard?
No.
Richard, how you doing? You okay? So, Richard's the incoming mayor's consort?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So there you go. Keep in touch then, man. If I DM you on Twitter,
Yes.
Good afternoon, councillors, officers and guests. Welcome to the 2021 annual meeting of Gloucester City Council. May I remind everyone that the meeting is being live streamed on the internet. First item is reports to Council on the election of councillors following elections on the 6th of May 2021. Yes, I'm looking for the list. Sorry. I'd like to announce the election of the councillors at the recent elections and in what I hope will be a new tradition for this council. When I read your name, so that everybody knows who you are, because I know that there are some new faces and some of the new faces won't know some of the old faces, if you could stand as I announce your name and then sit again, and then at the end I think it would be very nice to have a gentle round of applause to congratulate everyone on their election. It's such an important thing to take on civic office. Abbeydale. Colette Finnegan. Andrew Gravels. Laura Brooker.
There's an apology from Councillor.
Gordon Taylor. Ashley Bowkett in Barnwood. And also in Barnwood, Joanne Brown. Barton and Tredworth, Usman Bamia. Sajid Patel. Shamsud Zaman. Coney Hill, Andrew Durdy. Elmbridge, Howard Hyman. And Anne Radley. Grange, Sylvia Evans. And Steve Morgan. Hucklecote, David Brown. And Declan Wilson. Kingsholm and Wootton, Angela Conda. And Jeremy Hilton. Kingsway, Richard Cook. And Jarrod Kabastrip. Long Levens, Linda Castle. Clive Walford. Kathy Williams. Matson and Robinswood, Alistair Chambers. Brendan O'Donnell. And Raymond Padilla. Moreland, Lynn Ackroyd. Tree Chambers de Booth. And Terry Cullen. Podsmead, Sebastian Field. Credgley Field Court, Stephanie Chambers. And Hannah Norman. Credgley Seven Vale, Justin Hudson. And Andrew Lewis. Tuffley, Paula D. and Colin Organ. Westgate, Dawn Melvin. Paul Tolman. And last but by very means not least, Pam Tracy. So we have received apologies from Councillor Brooker. Are there any other apologies? I think the answer to that is no. The next item of business to be transacted at the meeting is to elect a mayor for the ensuing council year. Are there any nominations for the office of mayor for the new civic year? Yes, Councillor Gravels, and if you remain seated for your speech, please.
So, Madam Mayor, this afternoon it gives me great pleasure and it's a huge honour to nominate my Abbeydale councillor and friend, Colette Finnegan, to be the new Mayor of Gloucester for this new civic year. It's hard to believe, but I was first elected to this council way back in 1976. I know it's hard to believe, and I've seen our city and our city council face a variety of crises during my time as a city councillor, but none have been so devastating and so massively challenging to all of us as these recent sad times have been. You'd have to go way back to 2 World Wars and even further to the Siege of Gloucester in September 1643 during the English Civil War to find such a challenging time for our city and for its civic leaders. Madam Mayor, your cathedral civic service last Saturday captured the mood and the ethos of this council and this city really well. And you set the bar very high for whoever follows you as the next first citizen of Gloucester. I know that your impatience and resolve to achieve the best results for everyone will be continued and matched and, dare I say, exceeded by my Abbeydale colleague, Councillor Colette. I've worked closely with Colette for over 5 years now, and she too is always in a hurry to resolve issues and to deliver results. She is always in a hurry, especially when she sees things that need to be put right. In Abbeydale, it's no wonder, and increasingly across the city, that she's known as Fast Track Finnegan, the city councillor who gets things done. Colette recently held the office of Sheriff and Deputy Mayor, and it's good to be meeting here in the Assembly Room, where the National Sheriffs Association was formed back in 1984. During Colette's year as Sheriff, the then Mayor, Councillor Colin Organ, and Colin, we were also pleased to see you well. For those new members who don't know what happened to Colin, he was involved in an horrendous car accident and had to withdraw from his civic engagements. And Colette quickly took over his civic duties, including the tough and challenging role of chairing meetings of this council, with no warning and no time to prepare for that serious role. She very quickly grasped the complexities of this council's standing orders, points of personal explanation, and so on. And she learned very quickly how to keep all of us in order. And I do mean all of us. I'm not looking at anybody, but she learned very quickly how to keep all of us in order. In a way, Madam Mayor, it was a sort of apprenticeship into the role of mayor, caused by that very serious car accident. But it was an apprenticeship which Colette passed with flying colours and places her in a great position to take over from you immediately, already knowing how to fulfil the role effectively and with style and with grace. But being the mayor isn't just about sitting through endless meetings, it's about communities right across our great city. And it's about being the public face and ambassador of this city council, and all in a very non-partisan way. And I know from having worked with her that Colette will replicate that right across Gloucester, from Abbeydale to Westgate, from Barnwood to Tuffley, and all areas in between. In addition to her public service, Colette continues to add to the number of professional and educational qualifications which she already holds, and is currently working hard on her next university degree. But far from that making her a serious and inward-looking academic, it motivates her even more to do bigger and better things for our area and now for the city. Whoever is elected as her deputy will struggle to keep up. I give you warning, whoever that might be. I'm pleased that Colette's sons and family are here today to see their mum become the first citizen of her adopted city. My pleasure, Colette, is tinged with sadness, though, that your partner and best friend Bernie is no longer with us to share your special day today. But we know that he's not far away. He's smiling at us all today. Madam Mayor, Council, Colette has had a distinguished career in nursing over many decades, and now adding to that her experience as a serving councillor, she is the right choice for Mayor, the right choice to unite and lead us all through the next few months as lockdown measures are slowly lifted. And once again, our great city's heartbeat returns to its steady and strong rhythm, and our city slowly emerges from the sad, sad days of the pandemic. On days like this, I'm mindful of the words of US President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, who tackled injustices and inequalities head on, especially when he said, "Some people see things as they are and ask why, but other wiser people see things as they ought to be and how they should be and ask why not." And Colette firmly falls into the why not group, most definitely. So, Madam Mayor, in conclusion, Colette, good luck and every happiness in your year ahead. I formally move your nomination as Mayor, and I wish Richard, who sat in front of me, your son and consort, a very happy year too. Madam Mayor, I formally move. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Gravels. Is that seconded? Councillor Morgan.
Madam Mayor, I am indeed most grateful to Andrew Gravels for giving such a detailed and convincing speech in nominating Colette to be the next Mayor of Gloucester. And there is very little which I can now add. But before I do add a few things, I will warn him that I will be asking him about the origin of the expression fast track Finnegan, because I'm intrigued if no one else is.
Once you took off me.
Oh, right, okay. However, Colette, I must say I was delighted to be asked by you to speak as your second. I well recall at our first meeting being so impressed by your dazzling smile and your elegant dress style. Add to that a warm, caring nature and a passion for helping people, and you end up with the ideal candidate to be a memorable mayor. Colette has already had a very successful trial run when she took over from Colin Organ following his accident. I know I speak for all concerned when I praise Colette for the way she stepped into the mayor's role at short notice and did such an excellent job. Finally, Madam Mayor, I wish Colette and her team, who will be with her, a fair wind and the luck of the Irish during her civic year. And with that, I formally second the nomination of Colette Finnegan. Thank you.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that Councillor Colette Finnegan be elected Mayor of the City of Gloucester until the annual council meeting 2022. Are there any other nominations? Will those in favour please say aye? Aye. Any against? The motion is carried, and I declare that Councillor Colette Finnegan is duly elected Mayor of Gloucester until the annual council meeting 2022. Congratulations.
in case you need to take any more, I now invite the official photographer to take photographs of the new mayor. Madam Mayor, may I ask you to read aloud this declaration of acceptance of office?
I, Colette Finnegan, having been elected to the office of Mayor of Gloucester City Council, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of the members of Gloucester City Council.
Madam Mayor, may I now ask that the incoming Mayor's consort, Richard Finnegan, be presented with his badge of office by the former Mayor's consort, Jonathan Hode. Can I invite Richard Finnegan to come up on stage via the back entrance, and then the official photographer can take a picture of both yourself and the Mayor together. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, my sons Richard and Michael, friends, past colleagues and fellow councillors, thank you Andrew and Steve for your very kind words and for your ongoing support. I'm honoured and very proud to sit here as your selected mayor of this great and ancient city. My fellow councillors have bestowed a great responsibility upon me, and I wish to express my sincere appreciation of their confidence in me. Just 2 years ago, I was privileged to be elected as your sheriff, and I thought that was the pinnacle of my time in public service. I was certainly not expecting to be here today as your mayor. Thank you so much. When first elected to the sheriff's role, I was extremely green and unfamiliar with the tasks ahead. And so I'd like to thank Mr. John McGinty and his officers in Democratic Services for their invaluable help during that time. And I'm quite sure that I'll be calling on them during the coming year. I arrived in the UK from Ireland in the 1950s, the third child of 6. My father, Thomas, was one of 7, and my mother, Mary, one of 13. So they always considered us a modest family. We settled in Birmingham as siblings. We were all very close and had great fun. My father was incredibly strict about education, and as a result, I excelled at school and had many opportunities to progress. I decided to study nursing, gained a degree, followed by a BSc in community nursing, and later an MSc. However, I haven't finished yet, and I'm presently studying a PhD at Birmingham University. I loved providing high-quality nursing to patients. I had several senior posts as matron, where I had the challenge of managing nursing teams in a clinical environment with the objective of improving the health and outcomes for patients. I worked at Gloucester Royal, together with the Air Ambulance Service, A&E and ITU, Frimley Park Military Hospital, the Royal Marsden and Great Ormond Street hospitals. When I retired from nursing, I was asked by Councillor Gavels to consider becoming a ward councillor in Aberdale. That was 5 years ago. During that time, I have gained a lot of advice and assistance from him. That's been extremely helpful. Thank you very much, Andrew. I think we make it a pretty good team. My time in council has been amazing. I never thought as a child growing up in inner city Dublin and later in Birmingham this could ever be possible. As we know, the last year has been tough for so many people, particularly those who have lost loved ones and those who've been working on the front line to get us through this. I've never been so proud of my colleagues in the NHS as I am today. But as the city's mental health champion, I'm also very conscious of how difficult lockdown has been for so many people's mental health. Many former mayors have quite rightly highlighted the vital role that volunteers play in the life of the city. Never has this been more evident than over the last 12 months. Whether it has been ensuring the vulnerable have food, or the sick get their prescriptions, or helping with a hugely successful vaccine rollout. I intend to spend my time as mayor encouraging and recognising the wonderful work of our volunteers. I mentioned earlier how I'm part of a big family and how important family is to me. As I see it, the city is one big family, and now that restrictions are being eased, it's time to bring that family together again. To be elected mayor of this beautiful city is not just an honour, it is a huge responsibility and an opportunity to try and make a difference. I aim to carry on with my charity work, and I'm pleased to tell you that the Sheriff-elect Clive and I have agreed to pool our fundraising resources such that the civic charity for the coming 12 months will be the Pied Piper Appeal. This charity aims to raise money to improve the lives of local sick and disabled children. As a qualified paediatric nurse, it was a very easy choice for me to make, And thank you, Clive, for agreeing to work together on this. We have already been having detailed discussions on the best way to raise funds. And I'm delighted to tell you that the Civic Ball this year has already been booked for Friday the 17th of September at the Hatherley Manor Hotel. So please put that in your diaries. I can assure you that Clive and I will make it a very special event. As I said earlier, the last 12 months has been very tough for many in our city. But as we recover from the pandemic, I see it as the Mayor's role to lift the spirits of the city and help put the smile back on faces. And with the help of an Irish sense of fun, that's what I intend to do. I promise to work tirelessly, to do my very best to live up to this great honour. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity.
Madam Mayor, the next business to be transacted is to elect a sheriff and deputy mayor for the ensuing council year. I would ask that you call for nominations.
Is there any nominations for sheriff? Councillor Williams?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I speak now?
Yes.
Thank you. Council, I've known Clive for the last 4.5 years, since he was elected as a councillor for Long Levens. He's passionate about the area we represent on the City Council. He is also passionate and proud to be a son of Gloucester, being born and bred here. Clive played rugby for the city in the past and is well known amongst the players in the club at Kingsholm. He's well known generally, being involved in various community organisations. Clive has worked hard in his many roles on the council since he was elected, and I'm sure he will fulfil the role and duties of sheriff with equally the same due diligence and will be a good representative for the city of Gloucester, especially as Gloucester moves forward from strength to strength as it recovers from the COVID pandemic. I therefore have no hesitation in proposing Clive Walford as the next Sheriff of Gloucester.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Tolman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and congratulations of being elected to Mayor today. I've known Clive now for at least 50 odd years. We went to the same school, Sir Thomas Ridges, which was in Barton Street before it was moved to Long Levens. We played rugby together, both at Old Richards Rugby Club and then on to a spell at Gloucester. He was best man at my wedding in 1976, and although he pointed out that I should have chosen some better looking bridesmaids, I pointed out that I would have done, but I didn't choose them, my wife did. Clive then joined the police force for a while, which would help in his role of sheriff until he was lured away to the bright lights of Brazil for a gap year or two, and asked me if I could look after his car while he was away. Certainly, I said, as I knew I would not need to borrow my parents' car for a while. Clive was someone I could always rely on if ever needed, and he was always pretty good at giving advice, which, by the way, he still does to this day. He has a very strong views about most things, needless to say, with an ever so slight leaning to the right. I am sure he will do an excellent job, and I am pleased, therefore, to second the nomination of Clive Walford as Sheriff and Deputy Mayor.
It's been moved and seconded that Councillor Walford be elected Sheriff and Deputy Mayor of the City of Gloucester for the ensuing council year. Are there any other nominations? If not, those in favour, please say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. I declare that Councillor Walford is duly elected Sheriff and Deputy Mayor for the ensuing council year. Congratulations, Councillor Walford.
Mr. Sheriff and Deputy Mayor, may I ask you to read aloud this declaration of acceptance of office?
I, Clive Walford, have been elected to the office of Sheriff and Deputy Mayor of Gloucester City Council, declare that I take office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of Gloucester City Council.
Madam Mayor, may I now ask that the incoming Sheriff's Lady, Leslie Walford, be presented with her badge of office by the former Sheriff's Consort, Tom Cool. Madam Mayor, can I suggest that the Sheriff's Lady, Leslie Walford, join us on stage to be photographed alongside the Sheriff? Thank you.
Madam Mayor, fellow councillors, guests, Jan and Kate, I've got to say that it's wonderful to be back in this building again, the Guildhall, for this special meeting where councils were held before the North Warehouse. And I've got some wonderful memories of this building, having attended many dinners and musical events myself over the years. And those of you that are more or less my age will remember the grand staircase and the entrance coming in here. So it's really, really great to be back again. Yeah. And today is also very special for me, having been appointed by members, and I thank them for selecting me for the position of mayor, deputy mayor, sorry, and sheriff. Sorry. The reason why we're all here is because we all believe in democracy and the continuing of civics within this city, which I'm really pleased to continue with this. And I would urge all members who don't know about the civics of the city to look up the history of it and see what it's all about, because that will enable you in the next 3 years to carry out your duties with pride, knowing how this city has had a sheriff and mayor over many centuries. So I do urge you to do that. You will hear, or you've heard, from Paul Toman and Kathy about I played rugby for Gloucester, and I've got a couple of stories, and I've given blood for this city on many occasions. And most of it was left in Wales on a Wednesday night in the rain. But afterwards, we were always given some sausage and mash or something like that and made welcome. And the other time I gave blood was to the transfusion service here in Gloucester. And I lay down, they put the needle in me, and I started to faint. They took the needle out, put my legs in the air, and sent me home, and I didn't even get tea or biscuits or anything. So the answer is go down to Wales, you get well looked after. Continuing on from that, what I want to say is that the Mayor and I will continue to give you a special year. We will work together, and you know, I would ask you to all support us as a team. We will work as a team, and I ask you all to work as a team so that we can have a really good year and support the charity that the Mayor has mentioned, Pied Piper. And I won't go into that, but I was going to mention a few things about it. The Mayor has already told you about it. We will work as a team, and our chaplains will work as a team. Both of them will share the roles to bless this council and give prayer for council. It's a shame they're not here today, because it would have been nice to have seen them to bless the council, but we understand why they're not. Those who know me will know that I'm rather a doer than a talker. And so I'm going to end by saying I'm really honoured to represent the city as sheriff again for this year and to be voted in by my fellow members. And I'm going to leave you with one thought. And this was a quote by Muhammad Ali. And he said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." Please remember that. Thank you.
I'd now like to call on Councillor Terry Pullen to move and Councillor Chambers Dubai to second a vote of thanks to the outgoing Mayor and the outgoing Sheriff and Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and can I be the first from our group to congratulate you and the Deputy Mayor and Sheriff on your new office. I'm sure you'll have a very, very successful and fruitful year. Congratulations. I don't know whether it was the incoming Mayor and Sheriff or indeed the outgoing Mayor and Sheriff who had anything to do with the layout of the room today. I just feel like I'm in school. Although I'm not usually at the front. When I was at school, I was at the back. I suspect probably Councillor Morgan and Councillor Gravels would have been at the back with me too. But I do feel that I'm sat under the beady eye of the headmistress today. I'd like to say a few words about the outgoing Mayor and the outgoing Sheriff and Deputy Mayor. You've had a very, very successful year, but a very difficult and very challenging year under an extraordinary set of circumstances. Despite COVID, you've worked hard to uphold the tradition of Mayor and Sheriff and first citizens of this city. Thank you specifically for all the events that you've managed to honour, to make sure that they went ahead whilst acknowledging that COVID put specific regulations on them. Can I thank you specifically for Remembrance Sunday, much slimmed down event, but still honouring those who gave their lives, including putting a poppy wreath on the train, on the poppy train to Paddington, for the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Imjin River, fought by our glorious Gloucestershire Regiment. Thank you for that. More recently, the passing of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, and thank you for continuing with your commitment to champion LGBTQ issues and supporting your chosen charity, Pride in Gloucestershire, including planting a tree for all those who sadly died of AIDS. Can I thank you for working with Alan Myatt for a very, very successful Gloucester Day, supporting and recognising in particular the local traders and the contribution they make to our city. And also for remembering Srebrenica, marking 25 years of the genocide that took place. That was a delightful civic service on Sunday. I'm sure we will all agree. I thought it was really quite intimate and quite small and very different. So thank you for that, and pleased that it went ahead. And Madam Mayor, thank you for all your work you've done with food distribution. I think one of probably the greatest challenges you've had is chairing the council in the last year, and it could not have been easy trying to keep us all in order without a monitoring officer at your side and without a managing director from your spare room. So thank you for that. I don't know what plans you have for the future. You're keeping a bit quiet about that, I have to say. I notice you've already gone a little bit quiet on social media, only a little bit. So no doubt you're going to put your feet up and have a rest, more time to spend with your partner Jonathan. Although I'm not sure what Jonathan might think about that. I noticed that earlier on this year you put a post on Facebook to say that it's Jonathan's birthday today, and I'm in meetings from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the evening. Well, there you go. Maybe there will be a late birthday present for Jonathan. Could I turn to Madam Deputy Mayor and Sheriff, and again thank you for all the work that you've done upholding the ancient and historic role of Sheriff in a very difficult and challenging year. I suspect it's been quite frustrating for you because you've done the role before and you know what ought to be done, so carrying that out under the auspices and the restrictions of COVID, thank you. It was an unexpected year for you because you had planned to retire as a councillor the year before, to put your feet up, have a rest and spend time with your family. Well, that went out of the window then, didn't it? Thank you for supporting the Mayor in all of her civic duties. Having been Mayor yourself, you have the knowledge, experience and wisdom and have been a vital asset in supporting the Mayor. Just to make people aware, Councillor Lugg has held civic office 4 times. 1998-99, 2010-2011, 2007-2008, and her last year, 2020-21. So I guess you're probably in a quartet, if you like, all on your own. So well done for that. Because of all the work that you've done, obviously you do have a vast passion and history for the city, and there will be few who know the protocols and the customs associated with civic roles. So maybe working with, where's Dave? Oh, there he is, Dave, our esteemed civic marshal. You should offer yourself as a consultant or even probably write a book. I don't know. Madam Mayor, colleagues, I move the best thanks of this council should be given to the outgoing Mayor and the Sheriff and Deputy Mayor for the manner in which they have discharged their duties in the respective civic offices in the year 2020-21. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, over the past year, I have initially watched Kate and Jan in what has been a very remarkable year in a lot of ways, as a member of the Labour Party and a resident of Gloucester. I've been very lucky, and without the guidance and help and encouragement that I've had from Kate and from Jan over the years, I wouldn't be in the privileged position of being able to represent the people of Moorland and the Labour Party here today and on Saturday at the Cathedral, as Kate and Jan's year comes to a close. As from my perspective, Kate and Jan are a font of information. They're also 2 people who you can guarantee will always tell you how it is. They don't beat around the bush, and for that reason, they are honest and good friends, people that you can always rely on to get the information that you need, and if one doesn't have the answer, the other will. And I'm sure that I say that for everybody here in the council, and also everybody else in Gloucester Labour who know Kate and Jan. We really have been privileged to have you for the past year as Mayor and Sheriff, and I hope that whilst it's been a memorable year, You're going on to even greater and bigger things, whatever it is you choose to do. Madam Mayor and colleagues, I second the vote of thanks.
It has been moved and seconded that the best of this council be given to the outgoing mayor and the outgoing sheriff and deputy mayor for the manner in which they discharge the duties of their respective civic office in 2021 council year. And those in favour say aye. Aye. Any against? The motion is carried. I now call on Councillor Kate Haig to reply.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and you'll have seen we've given the civic gifts to our consorts, but also some flowers that Jan and I are giving them personally, and we also have another bouquet here for Parvi, who's been such a support to us this year. Thank you, and congratulations to Councillor Finnegan on her election as Mayor, and to Councillor Walford as Sheriff and Deputy Mayor. I wish you every success in your civic year. As I step away from the Council, I have been reflecting on my time as a member. At my first Council meeting in 2007, we were interrupted by a bomb scare. And within a few weeks, Gloucester had experienced devastating floods, leaving most of the city without water and its electricity supply at risk. And I end my time on this council as mayor in a global pandemic. Yes. As a councillor starting out, as many of you are here today, you might imagine that you will deal with a certain range of community issues. But as Harold Macmillan may once have said, the biggest challenge he faced as a politician was events, dear boy, events. There is always something that will come along to change the expected path. In 14 years on the council, and in that time, a global financial crisis, Brexit, and the cancellation of last year's elections, and much more, people will expect you to know what to do and to show leadership, whether or not you do. I was on holiday in Edinburgh when I picked up an early morning phone call from the chief executive at the time saying, I just want to update you on these riots. That was an interesting one. And in those circumstances, you have to show selflessness and make sure that things are in place to support the community and the officers, whether or not you're trying to enjoy the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. These are just two of the 7 Nolan principles of public life which shape the expectations of you as new councillors and old ones too. As a councillor, people will always have an opinion about what you do, and of course they're quite likely to feel that you're fair game, whether on social media or by writing anonymous letters. Act with integrity, and you'll always be able to withstand unfounded criticism. As well as challenges and responsibilities, there are great opportunities, and I have benefited from working with councils around the country at the Local Government Association, and I've particularly enjoyed being the South West rep on the LGA Labour Group, working with my colleague, Councillor Lee Redmond from Somerset, to run Be a Councillor courses and encourage people to put themselves forward. I've also spent time on the LGA Safer and Stronger Communities Board, covering everything from the horse meat lasagna scandal, learning from the Grenfell Tower disaster, reform of the Gambling Act, and more. And that's helped me to bring ideas back to Gloucester and to benefit the city. We've also had some fun with ideas like the Community Toilet Scheme Survey and the Closed Council, where we sat on the steps of HKP in all weathers and without gilding the lily, spoke to hundreds of residents. Another challenge has been the work in Matson on regeneration, and the now infamous coffee meeting in Brockworth with Councillor Gravels, where we found a way to work cross-party with local members playing a significant role in progressing the work. There is still a long way to go, so I shall watch with interest to see if residents get the regeneration that is so badly needed. When the local elections were cancelled in 2020, the first thing I did was buy Councillor Cool a stiff drink at the Pelican Inn. We conferred with Councillor Lugg and agreed that we would change our plans, which we would all plan to step down, and stay on the extra year, as did so many others. We've talked about the fantastic work done by our communities, but councils across the city stepped up and played their part too, often while shielding, facing their own challenges, as well as adapting, well, mostly adapting, to working entirely online. I did become Councillor Tracy's IT consultant on an informal basis. I think I've still got the job, Pam. Matston, Robbinswood and White City is a wonderful place to represent. It is challenging and hard work, but I hope the community will continue to work in partnership and shape their own future. When they ask you, you should let them become a community council and have more say in what works for them. I'd always said I would not take up civic office, as I preferred the political aspects of the council. But when it became clear that this would not be a normal civic year, I was pleased to have the opportunity to do it. The challenge of being a virtual mayor or marking important dates in significant and socially distanced ways has been a privilege to rise to. I would like to thank Dave Baldwin for his help with those occasions and for his support. My thanks also to Parvi Dyer for her support and patience, as arrangements were often last minute, and to Karen Pearson and Vari Smith with their organisational skills. Not all the events were sad and solemn. I was mocked, as is traditional, by the Mayor of Barton, who I see has now gone legit and is here today as a member. Gloucester Day was a rare opportunity to get out onto the streets of the city under the direction of City Crier Alan Myatt, and I managed to stealthily switch on the Christmas lights at the Cross. I also awarded the Mayor's Medal to Carol Francis and to Hash Norrit for their contributions to the city over many years. The civic charities this year were Pride in Gloucestershire and Winston's Wish. And we've not had as much the opportunity to extract as much money from you all as we would have liked. So it's not too late to contact Parvi and make a donation before the new mayor gets started. However, we did have a very successful civic tea on Saturday, and it was very nice to see many of you there. I was honoured to plant the Tree of Life to remember the victims of HIV/AIDS in Gloucester Park with the Chair of Clyde, and I'm delighted the Rainbow Crossing installed after a protracted debate on many fronts. My love and thanks to my children, Corin and Jack, who have been more or less willing participants in politics from a young age. Corin in particular, who's here today, with his birthday on the 6th of May, has been blighted by election birthdays for his whole life. I'm very proud of the adults they have become. Now, a word about the Matston gang. The last 5 years have not always been easy, but having you, Jan, and Tom both by my side has been an honour. The fact that we served out this last year as civics of this historic city has been a fitting end to our time together. My thanks also to the fourth member of the gang, my husband and partner, Jonathan Hode, for the challenge, the early morning bright ideas, the documenting of the past year, and most of all, the tea. Thank you.
I now call on Councillor Jan Lugg to reply.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. May I congratulate you and Councillor Walford on your election. So here's a useful fact, or a useless fact, depending on how you see it. Dreams, the Bed People at the Peel Centre, first opened its doors at 9 a.m. on Saturday the 21st of June 1998. I know this because Steve and I opened the shop on what turned out to be the longest day in 4 years of being a civic. Having opened the store at 9 a.m, at 10 a.m. we opened a medieval fair at the cathedral, and then 6 fetes at hourly intervals, sustained by tea and cake, thank heaven. At 6 p.m. we started presenting prizes at the Dance Academy, a process which lasted until 11 p.m. as each prize winner had to perform their winning dance. Then back home with a boot full of 9 wilting bouquets. If only our mayor last year had had a few days like that this year. Back in May, the summer seemed to hold the promise of a return to normality, but one by one the regular events fell by the wayside. Alan Myatt dreamt of the sheriffs of Sizer Vale, and they kept moving over further and further through the civic year until the pub opening and King's Home fans vanished over the end of our civic year. So that has never happened. The charity ball suffered the same fate. The Festival of Remembrance was limited, and I myself was not allowed to go because I was over 60. Remembrance Sunday and the many cathedral services which were run by people like the British Legion, Age Concern, and other charities from Remembrance to Christmas, they all never happened. The Christmas lights procession plans had to be abandoned due to the large crowds it normally attracts. We had high hopes for the children's Christmas party, as the primary schools had children in bubbles. But then we realised it only had to take one child from one bubble to have a cough. Then all the children and their parents from all over the city would have had to have self-isolate for 14 days just before Christmas. So we abandoned the plans, thankfully, well ahead of the official cancellation of Christmas, so nobody actually got disappointed apart from the arrangements team. The mayor never had a chance of a reception at Ark at Innsworth. Mind you, she used to work there, so she probably didn't miss it too much. And nor did she get shown the prized possession in the silver collection of the Hussars, Napoleon's brother's silver chamber pot. So, what is the legacy of our civic year? We sadly had an occasion to wear the black mourning ribbons on our chains for the death of the Duke of Edinburgh, and so the ribbons are now in the chain boxes ready for instant use should the need arise. And the flag protocol will be established so future generations will know that a flag that ends up at half-mast needs to start a flag lowering ceremony at the top of the mast and then come down. And other useful facts about flags, such as the Union flag has to be above all the others. So I finally leave the council after a total of 21 years. I pay tribute to my late husband Steve, who backed me for 17 of those years, and my greatest thanks go to Kate, Jonathan and Tom, who have supported me for the years since he died. Good luck to the council of 21-25. I rather think you'll need it. But I also think you will miss us much more than we will miss you. Thank you.
May I ask the former Mayor, Kate Haig, with a badge and bar, please, to come forward.
At this point, Madam Mayor, may I present the former Sheriff and Deputy Mayor Jan Lowe with her bar in respect of her period of office.
I would now like to announce that I have appointed Father Jerry Walsh of St Augustine's Presbytery as my chaplain during the ensuing council year. And the Sheriff's Deputy Mayor and Chaplain will be the Reverend Bruce Clifford. The two of them will work as a team to cover the period of the year 2021 to 2022. Thank you. Sorry. The Sheriff and I wish to inform members that the Pied Piper appeal will be our civic charity for the term of office. I now seek your agreement that the Council adjourns and reconvenes in 15 minutes' time. Please may I also ask members of this Council to remain in their places whilst the Civic Party now leaves the chamber. Members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding. Oh, that's Dave's going to say that. Dave, I'm taking your job.
well. Yes, very good. Yeah, excellent. Yes, the chairs are noisy in here, aren't they? Yes. And they all stand up. You're hearing them scraping.
I won't be announcing my assessment.
No, it's actually just an assessment. It starts with a little tap of the gavel.
Oh, that's good. Is the mayor going to be sitting down then?
No, we'll move the signs over, I think. No, I think not. No, it doesn't. It's been visible now, so they know what they're talking about. If they talk about it at all, they're not anyway.
Mr. Mann, you're the managing director
That's right.
of the council or the county council.
The council.
Ah, you need to speak to somebody from the county council. So that's separate.
So my opposite number is Pete Bungard. I do work for the county council,
Right.
but I'm not managing director.
Okay, alright, don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What's it about? What nature of it? What's the
Um,
nature of the query?
I'm basically looking for a job.
The what, sorry?
I'm looking for a job.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. Have you registered with the county council
Yes.
website? Right.
Yes, so don't worry, it's alright.
Okay.
Okay.
any declarations of interest? No? Okay, so we now move on to announcements. I have two announcements. The first is it's regrettable to say that a fellow councillor has now Councillor Rendell, a former councillor of Barnwood, has passed. So can we please remember him in our prayers? And secondly, Councillor Organ, it's wonderful to see you here today. And he's going to have the retro on the 25th of August this year. So well done, Councillor Organ. 25th, 26th, 28th of August this year. So well done on that, Councillor Organ. And now on to the Managing Director. He's got an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to let members know that today is the last council meeting for Director Anna Brinkoff, who's leaving the council in July. Anna's been with the council for 5 years and a bit, and in that time she's achieved an awful lot of excellent outcomes for the people of Gloucester. She's also done a lot of work transforming the City Council and the organisation with the Together Gloucester programme, but some of Anna's achievements are in helping get the Race Equality Commission set up, the chair of the Safer, Stronger Gloucester and Safer Gloucestershire Community Safety Partnership. She's chaired the Enabling Active Communities Partnership, the Community Building Collective, which she is still currently the chair of, the Strategic Housing Partnership, she's chairing that, and she's also chaired the COVID Community Resilience Cell on behalf of the entire county of Gloucestershire for the last year or so. So I just wanted to put on record my appreciation and thanks for all of the work that Anna Brinkoff has done in service of the city and the county. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Next on the agenda is the election of the leader of the council. So to elect a leader, is there, first of all, yourself and Councillor Cook to be elected as the leader. Is there any nominations? Councillor Norman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And may I be one of the first from our side of the chamber to congratulate both yourself and Councillor Walford on your appointments as Mayor and Sheriff for the forthcoming year. I'm very, very confident that you're going to make us incredibly proud, and I wish you every success for that coming year. I would like to move that Councillor Richard Cook be elected as leader of Gloucester City Council for the preceding 3-year term, and I have a seconder in Councillor Steve Morgan. Councillor Cook is an unassuming man who never had aspirations for political leadership. In fact, if you had said to him 10 years ago that he would have entered local politics, I don't think he would have believed you. However, he's successfully led this administration since his appointment in November 2019. At that time, he, like us all, were gearing up to fight an election in May 2020. Little did any of us know what was around the corner and the challenges that this council, our city, and residents would face due to COVID-19. With the deferral of the elections confirmed, Richard led from the front, not only by supporting residents in his ward of Kingsway with food provision and prescription collections, but by coordinating cross-party COVID leadership meetings to ensure that Gloucester City Council was united in our approach to ensuring that the Help Hub and Food Consortium operated effectively and that the council provided the needed support to the homeless, businesses and residents. Richard has directed the recovery cells while also driving forward ambitious plans for Gloucester, including the development at King Square and the upcoming first phases of the Forum. Richard has been a true leader throughout the recent local elections, supporting our councillors and candidates across the city. I am delighted that his efforts and those of this administration leads us to be rewarded with the best set of election results that the Conservative Party have seen in Gloucester for many years. I am proud not only of his healthy majority he has secured, but all which will enable us to have clear policy direction for the next 3 years, but I'm delighted that our group is now so diverse and truly represents Gloucester. I urge all members of this council to support the election of Councillor Richard Cook as leader. Thank you.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Morgan?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and may I also congratulate you and Councillor Wolford on your election to civic office. And I hope you both have a most enjoyable year. I'm sure you will. It is my great honour today to say a few words about Richard Cook. Richard took over when Paul James stepped down, and I think everyone will agree that Richard has carried on seamlessly with the excellent work started by Paul in moving this great city forward. Despite the effects of a worldwide pandemic, there is still huge confidence and pride in Gloucester, and much of this is a result of the fine qualities Richard has displayed as leader of this council. His patience, good sense and good humour has been the glue which kept this council delivering for the people of Gloucester over the past incredibly difficult year or so. Before I conclude, Madam Mayor, and not to be outdone by Councillor Gravels in quoting a former US President, I would like to use the words of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, who said, "The supreme quality of leadership is integrity." This quality applies totally to Richard Cook, and therefore it gives me immense pleasure to second this nomination and urge members to confirm Richard once more as leader of the City Council. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Morgan. Is there any alternative nominations? Therefore, I announce Councillor Richard Cook to be now the elected leader of the Conservative Party. Council. Councillor Cook, would you like to nominate a deputy leader?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and at the risk of boring everybody, can I offer my own personal congratulations to you and to Clive on your election to Mayor and Deputy Mayor. I would like to thank everyone for the vote of confidence in electing me as leader of Gloucester City Council. It is a role I continue to take with great humility, and I hope to reward your confidence in me with my ongoing and sincere dedication to this wonderful city. I am appointing Councillor Hannah Norman to be Deputy Leader. I have made 2 changes to Cabinet. Councillor Dawn Melvin has decided to step back from her role to spend more time on her family, her residents, and some large ward projects in Westgate. I think she's done a great job of keeping the city centre retail environment as buoyant as possible throughout the pandemic. Retail occupancy has been kept very high under her stewardship, thanks to her proactivity in seeking occupants for retail premises. She has also done a great job with the indoor market, organising a redecoration and refit and bringing it up to full occupancy. She will continue to stand by to help with the delivery of city centre issues should the pandemic cause a return of restrictions. For the role of Cabinet Member for Communities and Neighbourhoods, I have selected Councillor Justin Hudson. I am aware it is very unusual to select a new councillor straight into Cabinet, but Justin has extensive experience in his roles as Chair of the LVA, Vice Chair of the Gloucester Business Improvement District, and has shadowed work done by his predecessor Jenny Watkins in the City Safe domain. He was also instrumental in setting up the Food Consortium during the first lockdown. Those roles have enabled considerable access to council officers working within that portfolio, so I believe he's ready to move into this cabinet role in full sprint mode. I hope you will all welcome him to this new chapter in his career. I want to particularly welcome all new councillors onto the council. I hope you enjoy your new roles and get the opportunity to use your skills to improve outcomes for your local residents and throughout the city. The next few weeks will be hard. I can assure you there's a lot of learning to undertake. I also want to welcome Chris Nelson as the new Police and Crime Commissioner for Gloucestershire. I've met him on several occasions and know he recognises the issues that concern residents, especially antisocial and other criminal behaviour. I also wish to extend my thanks to Martin Searle for the 9 years service he gave to that role and wish him well in his future. Finally, to everyone here, The next 3 years is an opportunity to work together to ensure that we deliver the promises we have made to our residents, to drive on with the fantastic regeneration programme in King's Square, the wider King's Quarter and the Cathedral Quarter in the city centre, and to deliver the housing promises we've made at St Oswald's and in the Podsmead and Matson regeneration opportunities, and of course elsewhere where housing opportunities present themselves. At the same time, we must ensure that our city becomes more environmentally sustainable. So we will be pushing on with our green agenda, rapidly ensuring that the Council aims for net zero carbon and helping plot the way for our entire city to achieve that goal. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Cook, can we go on to item 9 now, appointments to committees and consultation forums and working groups and nominations for chairs of committees and vice chairs for 2021?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the Council resolves that the schedule of appointments of members be noted and approved by Council. And I have a seconder.
Thank you. Would like a seconder like to speak?
I'll reserve the right, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Any amendments? Sorry, any amendments? Open to debate? Any debate on that? Straight to vote then. So it's full. Ms. Ford? Says pass. Is anybody against this? So it's carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 10, appointments to outside bodies for 2021-2022. Leader of the Council to move and Deputy Leader of the Council to second the following motion. Councillor Cook.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that Council is asked to resolve that the schedule of appointments to outside bodies be approved.
Seconder.
I will reserve the right. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Any amendments? Any debate? On to the vote? On to the vote? Who's for? Any against? That's carried, thank you. On to number 11, designation of the monitoring officer. Leader of the Council to move and Deputy Leader of the Council to second the following. Council is asked to resolve that. Okay, don't need to do that. Okay, that's up to you. I keep taking people's jobs. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't mind if you want to take my job for a while. I move that Council is asked to approve the resolutions in the papers as presented. Thank you.
Seconder.
I'll reserve the right. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Any amendments? Debate? Vote? Yeah? Any against? That's carried. Thank you. So thank you very much, everybody. That's the end of the meeting.